Amici al cuore tassellato, ben ritrovati. Vi spoilerò immediatamente la puntata di stasera. Ottavo round dell'AMA Monster Energy Supercross 2023 con la gara che si è svolta a Daytona e sarò sempre in compagnia di Michele Fanton.
Here's your 250 highlights from Daytona Beach, Florida. Nate Thrasher coming off the big win in Arlington, feeling great. Pretty solid qualifying time, too. He was number 2. And when the gate dropped for the 250 East main event, Thrasher was up front. Max Anstey, a bunch of riders, Tom Vial. But Hunter Lawrence was right there in the lead group, watching the competition, wondering where he's going to make the move, and then he pulled the trigger very early in the main, James, and took care of business with Nate Thrasher.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hunter, he said in his interview, he saw the opportunity, and he took the opportunity, and Nate felt it and saw it. So, yeah, a little aggressive, but at the same time, Nate was his biggest competition, and he just ended that right now.
He sure did. He took advantage of the opportunity right when it presented himself. Didn't take him long to get back to the lead, and I love seeing Vial out there. I thought he was going to do really well here. He was on his way to possibly getting a podium. I don't think a lot of people are going to be able to get up to him, but unfortunately he made a huge miscalculation. He comes up short. That was a really nice dismount, jumping through the handlebars, but you'd have to retire the night early.
Yeah, and you know, you've been in that position. Mechanic's kicking it. You're like, I ain't going back out there. I don't know why you're wasting your time on here. So, yeah, it looked like Nate was coming back up. Then he makes another mistake. And for a championship perspective, it's tough on him when, you know, Hunter's out front. But, yeah, tough night for him.
I hated to see that because I thought he was in a situation where he's going to keep continuing to build on that confidence with this guy right here, Moseman. He cross jumps on accident, cross ruts on accident, comes up short, cases that little triple. The rest is history.
So Hunter Lawrence, little fist pump, cruised it in on the last lap, but I mean, just dominated this main event. Was perfect execution, showing that he is truly the best in this class and an unbelievable 250 rider. He is maximizing that machine. He gets the win. Max Anstey, great ride in second. And how about Hayden Deegan? Third place, his first podium. Wow, James, I mean, third for Hayden Deegan. Was it going to come this early? Yes, it came.
I mean, the kid's good, and like I said, I'm feeling dangerous. Dangerous did good. Congratulations, kid.
450 highlights from Daytona. The gate drops. This guy, and the guy to his left, Chase Sexton, and their rival, Cooper Webb, who was a little bit on the outside of those two going into the first corner. He lined up outside. The gate goes down. Tomac grabs the whole shot. But Cooper Webb gets aggressive early and takes this thing, James.
Yeah, we've been talking about Cooper and speed and being quick out of the gate. Well, tonight he showed that, and I feel like with him, that's why I said that interview is an improvement. He's starting to figure out the race part where those guys aren't just jumping all over him and taking out, but again, he makes a mistake out there, and it was cool to watch him go inside. Eli goes inside. He's like, I ain't letting that happen. And a close moment right here, Ricky.
Oh, yeah, that was really close. And I almost was wondering if Cooper Webb was wanting to be in second position because he was getting dogged by the number one of Eli Tomac for laps and laps and laps. And that was a near miss. He says he hits neutral. That is a weird spot, James. To your point where you were saying, that's a weird spot to hit neutral in.
It's a weird spot, and if you look at his back tire locks up. So to hit neutral, you wouldn't see that. And then when he goes on off. But then you had this. Chase is trying to catch up. Barsha throws a little rev, so you knew something was coming. But just like Chase all year, another mistake, and then this happens.
Stalls it, okay? And then this is just a racing incident right there. Chase probably should have thought a little bit more about, hey, leave that inside open because the 51's coming, but that's an easy miss to misread. But man, this guy, what an incredible ride. Oh.
Cooper Webb kept him honest. He sat right there. Look at him. He's always right there. But Eli Tomac gets there first, and there's Eli's mom. She's so happy for the 7th time at Daytona as he wins again, does the burnout. How many times are you going to do the burnout, Eli? And look at the crowd. This is insane. The feeling has got to be incredible for him.
Oh, yeah, but look at that face.
The emotion.
You've seen him trying to do the Dougie, whatever that was. He was happy. So, again, another victory.
He's happy because he won. Tomac gets the victory. Webb second, Sexton third. And, again, Justin Barsha was fantastic tonight in fourth. Ken Roxon, 7th the night, kind of survived the night there in 7th.
E come promesso, come al solito, sono in compagnia di Michele e Fanton per commentare la gara che si è svolta a Daytona, ottavo round delle main Monster Energy Supercross. Ciao Michele, come va?
Ciao Adriano, molto bene, gare meravigliose, strepitose, grande bagarre come al solito, però gli attori sono sempre gli stessi.
Sono sempre gli stessi e combinazione confermano il loro stato di forma e la voglia di combattere per questo incredibile campionato. Partiamo subito a bomba con la 4,5, dove il Tomac, oltre a vincere la gara, batte il record di Ricky Carmichael con le vittorie. Ricky Carmichael aveva 48 vittorie, Eli Tomac 49 e si avvicina al record anche di James Bubba Stewart a 50. Eli Tomac sopra ogni sospetto.
Assolutamente, comunque l'avevamo già un po' pronosticato la settimana scorsa che qua era una pista che si addiceva molto soprattutto a parte la velocità, che quella è indiscussa, ma soprattutto anche la condizione fisica e psicologica che Tomac sta dimostrando in questa annata, ma è soprattutto una pista che gli si addice. Tra l'altro è il più forte vincitore come numero di gare a
A
Daytona, per
Daytona,
cui questo conferma.
settima vittoria consecutiva, poi tra
Bravissimo, per
parentesi,
cui
paura,
è un,
paura.
è un record che secondo me passeranno ancora di tanti anni che qualcuno lo possa battere. Per
Sì.
cui Tomac fortissimo, veramente.
Vittoria meritatissima da parte sua, conferma da parte di Cooper Webb che arriva secondo, Sexton terzo nel main event, per cui campionato veramente aperto con un Sexton che inizia a perdere un pochettino di punti importanti visto che siamo quasi al giro di boa del campionato.
Sì, beh, ha perso alcuni punti, questo è indiscusso. Comunque si trova a meno 10 da Tomac e a meno 5 da Cooper Webb, per cui il campionato è ancora giocabile fino alla fine. Certo che Sexton, come abbiamo visto in tutte le altre gare, commette sempre degli errori. Stavolta non è caduto, però comunque ha commesso degli errori dove lo ha allontanato dai due che stavano lottando per la vittoria, e tra le altre cose ha avuto anche dei contatti abbastanza pesanti con Barcia, dove
Strano.
fortunatamente lui ha avuto la meglio.
Stranissimo avere dei contatti con Barcia in questo campionato, è una cosa incredibile. Comunque grande spirito, grande combattività anche di Barcia, perché è stato velocissimo e sta guidando anche bene, tra parentesi. Se non fosse per per questi contatti un po' pesantucci, però in fin dei conti tutti lo conoscono e insomma cercano di stare un po' alla lontana e cercano di passarlo in punti dove non c'è possibilità di contatto.
Ma diciamo che
Sexton,
sì,
però, ritornando al discorso sui piccoli o grandi errori che fa, ha perso di nuovo l'anteriore. Se
sì,
ci hai
beh,
fatto caso, cioè sembra che le dinamiche siano sempre legate al davanti della moto. Adesso non per andare a fare ipotesi tecniche che mi sembra di perdere tempo e rischiare poi le critiche.
evidentemente usano comunque un avantreno molto rigido, e lì evidentemente lui ne soffre parecchio, perché comunque per affrontare questi ostacoli le moto sono veramente durissime, e a discapito della sensibilità che può avere la ruota anteriore sul terreno, che tra le altre cose lì a Daytona era anche abbastanza morbido, per cui queste difficoltà dovevano assottigliarsi abbastanza. Ha fatto due errori, uno tra l'altro la moto gli si è anche spenta, ma fortunatamente con questo avviamento elettrico si è accesa immediatamente. Poi c'è stato quel contatto con Barcia, dove Barcia purtroppo ha avuto la peggio, dove è caduto,
Sì.
e non ho visto una grande reazione. Evidentemente poi si è accontentato, tra virgolette, di questo terzo posto, che comunque lo mantiene in lotta per il campionato.
Assolutamente. Barcia quarto posto, meritato, veloce, guida molto sciolto, a me piace. e un po' sempre al limitatore fa cantare il motore, che è uno spettacolo, cioè per lo spettacolo è il massimo. Non so per i meccanici se la pensano nello stesso modo,
Eh,
ecco, anche perché c'è il rischio di far esplodere tutto. Però Jason Anderson, velocissimo, guida benissimo, ma gli manca ancora quel pelo per arrivare e vincere finalmente una gara.
Ma a me personalmente, per quanto concerne il contesto della gara, mi ha deluso sul fatto che comunque l'avrei visto lì a lottare con Tomac e Webb per la vittoria. Invece l'ho visto abbastanza rendevole, a prescindere dal fatto che guida bene, ha fatto una gara, diciamo, per portare a casa dei punti, però non l'ho visto determinato e forte come l'avrei visto in questa pista. Ma deluso e ha fatto solo, tra parentesi, un quinto posto, per cui ha perso ancora ulteriori punti rispetto ai primi tre. Adesso addirittura si trova a meno 38, per cui per la lotta per il titolo ormai lo vedo un po' sfavorito. E questo è una
A
nota che
meno che non abbiano mal di pancia i primi tre, i primi quattro. Quello che mi ha fatto piacere rivederlo proprio al massimo della competitività è Justin Cooper, rookie nella 450, ha ben condotto, ha svolto il suo compito nel migliore dei modi, per cui lo vedremo sicuramente protagonista. Sta prendendo un pochettino il ritmo anche lui.
Justin Cooper diciamo che è il rookie di questa classe regina e per lui è stato veramente, come avevo sentito nelle interviste all'inizio del campionato, un po' un incubo riuscire ad essere competitivo e
Sì.
veloce con queste moto iper performanti e comunque con un sacco di cavalli da gestire. E ultimamente in queste ultime gare sta dimostrando che dà continuità al risultato e pian pianino, senza fare errori, si sta portando nei posti dove merita, perché comunque arrivare appunto nei primi 6 o 7 in questo campionato non è da tutti, per cui il Cooper sta crescendo e io credo che prima di fine stagione lo vedremo fare anche qualche acuto.
Ken Roxen, grande hit, secondo, è rimasto attaccato per un bel po' di giri a Tomac, ha dimostrato di avere abbastanza velocità, di essere abbastanza a posto, più a posto che nelle ultime gare con la moto. Cosa dire?
Ma,
Settimo.
ha fatto un settimo mediocre per il livello che lui è, che ci ha sempre abituato. E non ha fatto una grande partenza, è partito un po' indietro. Nei primi giri non ha attaccato subito i suoi avversari, infatti ha subito un po' di sorpassi anche da Plessinger e da Craig. Poi dopo, evidentemente, ha trovato il ritmo, si è riportato a ridosso di Cooper anche se non è riuscito a sopravanzarlo, ha portato a casa un settimo posto che però per quello che aspira a Ken Rotzen, diciamo che per lui penso sia un po' deludente. Speriamo che da qui in avanti trovi quella continuità, ma soprattutto quella forma fisica che gli permetta di fare quei famosi 20 minuti a livello di
Interi,
tre. Sì.
interi proprio, anche perché la guida e il talento ce l'ha. Sicuramente sta lavorando tantissimo, da quello che mi dicono amici, colleghi americani, sta lavorando tantissimo sulla moto, per cui il team sta lavorando 24 su 7, staremo a vedere un pochettino cosa succede. Per cui il campionato è bello aperto nella 450 e lo vedremo e vi regaleremo le immagini poi a fine di questo percorso televisivo della 450 col main event in onore della vittoria di Eli Tomac, per la vittoria, per il superamento di Ricky Carmichael e sull'avvicinamento a James Bubba Stewart. Tra parentesi, le gare sono state commentate da Ricky Carmichael e James Bubba Stewart, per cui è stato un plus anche per tutti gli spettatori che hanno potuto seguire la gara. Vuoi aggiungere qualcos'altro sulla 450
Ma,
in particolar modo?
quello che volevo aggiungere, magari solo abbiamo visto un discreto di nuovo Christian Craig, che ha fatto qualche errorino, però
Mm.
comunque si è riportato nei primi 10, vuol dire che anche lui sta trovando il feeling con questa categoria. E devo fare un'altra nota un po' negativa, quella di Plessinger, perché fino a quest'ultima gara l'avevamo vista sempre in prime 5-6, oggi in questa gara a Daytona ha deluso un po' le aspettative finendo nono. Ecco, l'unica nota un po' negativa della gara.
Eh sì, anche perché poi, bene o male, tutti i meccanici di tutti i team sono d'accordo su una cosa. Pista veramente tecnica, difficile la messa a punto. Hanno intervistato il team manager di KTM, dice su piste così riusciamo a mettere a posto la moto per il 30-40% del percorso, poi l'altro ci deve essere il pilota che praticamente va oltre al problema e cerca con la sua tecnica di superare appunto i problemi di setting. Dicono mettiamo a posto per le UPS, mettiamo a posto per la sender section e poi sulle altre parti bisogna tribulare un pochettino di più. Sei d'accordo su questa disamina tecnica dei meccanici e dei tecnici?
Assolutamente, anche perché è una pista talmente particolare dove offre un terreno variabile, perché avrai notato, ma comunque anche i nostri telespettatori lo avranno visto, lo vedranno poi nei filmati, c'erano dei punti sabbiosi molto molto insidiosi, per cui riuscire a mettere a posto una moto in una sezione e poi che possa andare bene anche in un'altra è veramente difficile. Giustamente la tua valutazione, il tuo pensiero del fatto che poi il pilota si deve adattare a una circostanza rispetto a un'altra e fa la differenza. E questo i tecnici lo sanno benissimo, loro sicuramente hanno cercato di ottimizzare al massimo l'espressione soprattutto delle sospensioni, ma anche la messa a punto dello stesso motore per avere una
Dell'erogazione.
guidabilità abbastanza alternativa.
Assolutamente sì, anche perché la fruizione della coppia in alcuni punti va bene, in altri no, anche perché abbiamo queste sand section che sono veramente toste. Anche qua Daytona, insomma, ha fatto tribulare non poco i piloti. Grande pubblico come al solito,
Meraviglioso.
grande spettacolo in tutti i sensi. Passiamo alla 250, altre conferme, come avevamo detto l'altra volta, i protagonisti, bene o male, sono sempre gli stessi con qualche inserimento di qualche novità, insomma, anche perché Aiden Deegan finisce terzo con una guida veramente spettacolare da veterano e da non da sedicenne, qual è?
Assolutamente. Quello che mi è dispiaciuto è aver visto quella brutta botta che ha fatto Vial
Eh
quando
sì.
si trovava in seconda posizione, e io credo che se non cadeva, poi sempre con i mai se sono delle ipotesi abbastanza remote, avrebbe potuto puntare anche lui sul podio. Però il Supercross, ma soprattutto questa pista veramente particolare e insidiosa, ha fatto commettere un errore che purtroppo ha dovuto ritirarsi.
Pista che non ha perdonato, insomma, però io ho visto nei primi 2 o 3 giri di Vial qualcosa che non andava in lui, non stava guidando proprio benissimo, mi sembrava un pochettino oltre la comfort zone appunto abituale che ha. Ha rischiato un po' di più e commette un errore chiaramente perdonabile perché è un rookie, è un campionato nuovo, però sta dimostrando velocità estrema, per cui lo vedremo come giusto protagonista.
Sì, sì,
Eh,
sicuramente perché comunque tecnicamente diciamo che lui è proprio predisposto per questi tipi di terreni, cioè il Supercross ha sempre dimostrato anche quando correva in Europa nel campionato del mondo. C'è stato questo brutto errore che comunque è arrivato leggermente corto ad un triplo che ci può anche stare.
sì.
E evidentemente era anche un po' teso dal fatto che si trovava lì a lottare subito con Hunter Lawrence in primi giri perché è partito, non era subito in testa, ma ha fatto una sezione dopo la partenza incredibile dove
Sì.
in poche centinaia di metri era già primo. Poi dopo Hunter Lawrence sulle whoops è stato strabiliante, velocissimo, l'ha superato
Un birillo,
fosse
senza
uno che andava a
offesa.
passeggio e dopo ha commesso quell'errore. Comunque, secondo me, dovremmo aspettarci ancora delle belle gare di Viale.
Torniamo alla stella del futuro e del presente, Aiden Deegan, terzo, e come ripeto, guida stratosferica per un ragazzino alle sue prime gare nei pro, ecco.
Sì, ecco, quello che ho notato ha una bella guida, però mi sembra sempre un po' al limite, impiccato, perché anche lui usa la moto tipo la Barcia, sempre col motore fuori giri. Lo vedo anche, tra parentesi, molto aggressivo nelle curve. Certo che l'aggressività porta a fare risultati, questo è indubbio, però l'errore può essere sempre dietro l'angolo. Nulla toglie il fatto che comunque ha fatto una grande gara, un rookie già arrivare sul podio vuol dire tanta roba. Sto ragazzo giovane sarà il futuro del
Sì.
Supercross in America, quello è senza ombra del dubbio. Speriamo che non cada e non si faccia del male, quello
No,
sicuramente.
speriamo di no e abbiamo visto appunto una bruttissima caduta di Ferrandis durante il press day e purtroppo l'ha estromesso poi dalla gara perché non era al 100%. Cosa dire di Max Ansti?
Io
Secondo un martello pneumatico con una guida fantastica e una moto che va veramente bene. E ricordiamoci che non è un pilota ufficiale, ma è un team privato ben organizzato, però sempre privato.
Ma diciamo che il team gli ha fornito un mezzo competitivo all'altezza della situazione, ma comunque lui, la cosa che mi sta stupendo è la continuità e la sicurezza che sta dimostrando gara dopo gara. Non è a livello di Hunter Lawrence e quello è
No.
abbastanza palese, però il suo secondo posto è più che meritato perché comunque non commette errori, è sempre lì davanti e comunque porta a casa dei punti importanti sia per il campionato ma
Sì.
anche per il morale suo e di tutta la squadra che lo sta seguendo veramente in modo esemplare. Questo gli rende ancora più merito il
Più
risultato che sta
merito.
facendo.
Hunter Lawrence, Honda HRC, un'altra vittoria che mette in tasca e mette nel portafoglio come come un investimento per il campionato. Difficile per gli altri avere la sua forza mentale, la sua tecnica di guida e il cercare di non sbagliare nulla.
Ma Adriano, io credo che quando uno dimostra la sua supremazia che ha sui suoi avversari, sul fatto che tecnicamente lo si nota è diciamo quel mezzo scalino superiore agli altri, questo gli permette di correre abbastanza in tranquillità, tra virgolette, perché la tranquillità lì non ce l'hai mai,
Mm.
però comunque lo vedi anche negli ultimi giri, sempre plastico, sempre pulito, sempre preciso, non rischia mai, a parte il fatto che, vabbè, quando affronta le loops è lì, era l'unico che riusciva a batterle in una maniera incredibile, ha fatto qualche piccola sbavatura, però sempre sotto controllo e questo ti dà una sicurezza di te e di quello che stai affrontando veramente pazzesca. E
Sì,
comunque
Anche perché guardarlo, cioè, sembra tutto facile. È molto leggero sulla moto, si muove il giusto senza fare gesti atletici incredibili, però velocissimo, come hai detto tu, veramente a un livello superiore per il momento. Ricordiamoci che Max Ansti segue comunque per il campionato a circa 14 punti, anzi 14 punti di differenza. Sarà un bel campionato anche questo, però insomma, vediamo Hunter Lawrence a un livello superiore,
Sì,
punto,
io
e a
credo
capo.
che per vederlo lottare a pari armi dovremmo vederlo in bagarre con suo fratello, per cui tutto in casa, in famiglia e in casa Honda, per cui
Sperando che non facciano confusione, che non si prendano dentro, no, ma non penso, staranno molto attenti anche perché Honda darà sicuramente dei paletti da mantenere. La prossima gara sarà a Indianapolis e in Indiana settimana prossima. Vedremo un po' che cosa succede, Michele. Cioè, però le gare sono veramente entusiasmanti, sono sempre più belle da seguire. Adesso noi finiamo l'intervista e lasciamo la 450, il main event della 450 per far godere tutti i telespettatori a casa.
assolutamente si gustano questa gara.
Eh sì, io intanto ti ringrazio come al solito, so che stai lavorando tantissimo sulla pista di Lovolo in attesa delle prossime gare, anzi dell'inizio, diciamo, della stagione a livello completo. C'è qualcosa che bolle in pentola a Lovolo?
Noi appunto domenica avremo la prima prova del campionato Nord-Est che è aperto a tutti i piloti a livello nazionale, anche se diciamo, è nell'ambito del Triveneto, e poi la domenica successiva, il 19, ci sarà il campionato italiano Prestige femminile e l'italiano senior 125 e il campionato veteran, per cui ecco, siamo in pieno fermento per questi due eventi.
Grande, grande impegno da parte tua e da parte dei tuoi collaboratori, per cui invitiamo tutti i piloti ad avere un occhio di riguardo per l'Ovolo. Ricorda quando è aperta la pista per gli allenamenti.
Adesso naturalmente qualche giorno prima della gara la pista rimarrà chiusa, però dopo queste due manifestazioni la pista è aperta tutti i giovedì pomeriggio e il sabato pomeriggio e tutta la domenica, sempre sistemata, bagnata e assolutamente con l'ambulanza e i medici a disposizione.
Grande lavoro da parte tua, Michele. Complimenti ancora. Noi ci sentiamo per settimana prossima per commentare Indianapolis e staremo a vedere che cosa succede. Intanto ti ringrazio, lasciamo le immagini del main event 450 con un light Tomac fantastico. Ciao Michele, alla prossima.
Ciao Adriano,
Ciao
alla
ciao,
prossima.
grazie.
Ciao ciao.
He's had two second places here, and they were in his championship years. Let's remind ourselves of this time last year where he led 15 of the 18 laps. Who took it from him in the end? Of course, the king of Daytona, Eli Tomac.
And your heat race winner, the first time he's ever raced a 450, RJ Hampshire, and his starts have been so on point all season long. If he gets a whole shot here, he's going to make things interesting.
And he might just do that. 20-minute plus one lap main event coming up, and all these racers are fighting for a chance to be in the Super Motocross World Championship playoffs. The top 20 are automatically seeded. They're in, they're racing. So for Benny Bloss, Kyle Chisholm, Kevin Morans, they are on the bubble. Starling, Cartwright, Clayson right behind. and we are early. There's 31 races in this championship in 2023. We are just getting started. 450 main event from Daytona. 20 minutes plus 1 lap. The track's going to play a role. The battles are going to play a role. This is going to be a fun one. But for Dylan Ferrandis, he is not racing tonight after this crash yesterday on press day. And he's just coming back from a big one at Houston, RC. So you're thinking maybe he'll have a chance. This one took him out of it.
Man, that was press day. Rarely do you see guys take these kind of crashes on a race weekend, especially on press day. You need to talk to him and see exactly what happened there, but you hate to see it. Like you said, he's just coming back from that injury protocol. He was on protocol and cleared the race, and then that happens.
Yeah, Daytona happened. That's what that is.
For sure.
That was your Rocky Mountain ATV team update. His teammate, Eli Tomac, on the gate just to his left is Chase Sexton. Where's Cooper Webb? A couple gates outside of Sexton and Tomac. Revs up, gate will drop in Daytona. It's the 450 main event. Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Chase Sexton. You want to see a 1-2-3 battle? You're going to get it, but Barsh is going to get it in this 2 and play.
Oh, what do you do right there? That was awesome by Cooper Webb. He hung him tough, didn't give way.
There you go. Now, it's important for Cooper right now. Like, his speeds have been off a little bit. We got 1, 2, and 3 right here. This is what race we wanted, so let's see what happens. But, of course, Coop, man, way to nail that.
Oh, Sexton's in 3rd as well. I mean, this has been what it has been all season long. These guys know what's at stake. They find a way to find each other every single round.
Now, if I'm Chase Sexton, this is a different position than I have been in the past. Like, normally I'm out leading, and everybody's kind of waiting for me to make that mistake. Now, I can maybe sit back, relax, and let this race come to me. And let me see if I can make those guys make a mistake.
Cooper Webb leads the way on the opening lap. Talked a lot about his comeback. RC 2022 was not great. No victories, an off year. The champ is back, and now he leads the Daytona Supercross as the flag goes green.
Well, these guys like Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac are so good at riding within their comfort zone. You got a guy like Chase Sexton where he is so fast and he can actually back it down a little bit, slow down a half a second if he needs to. That's how much more of a time gap that he has on these riders, but he's got to learn to dial it back just a little bit. That's where guys like Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb are getting the best of him.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think the thing with Chase, it's this sand. He's been getting caught up in this sand and makes another mistake. And he might actually let Barsha get past him right here if you don't watch out. And again, Eli in a good position. Oh, that was a good move by Chase holding off Barsha. But these are the little mistakes that's been going on, and he lost time. So let's see if he can regroup again.
Justin Barsha, on press day yesterday from the very first lap, he was wide open, giving it every single thing he had in his body. And it's carried all the way through today, and now he's up in the top 5.
And Daniel, what's the difference here for Justin Barsha today? Well, I was speaking to him early, and he said, honestly, we haven't changed anything on the bike. Nothing really. He said, I just feel better. He described it to me as just kind of feeling at one with his bike. And he said, sometimes you just feel that way. He looked around at the other races there, and they were like, yep, sometimes you just get that day. So James, Ricky, I'm sure you've been in that position before. When you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And for Justin Barsha today, apparently that's how he went into his day.
Looking awesome right now, and he's close to home as well, so that certainly helps. But James, I just gotta, this is really bringing me back to when you and I were racing together, and I feel like there's defining moments in the championship where a momentum switches, right? Or you're like, okay, I think I'm in control. And do you feel that we are at that moment right now for Cooper Webb? Like, what do you think is happening here?
Yeah, absolutely, because the two guys behind him have had some up and downs, and I feel like with Cooper, he's actually been getting better. And when you look at the beginning part of the races, we talked about his speed, and his speed not being up. He goes out whole shots, and he's pulling away from the guys that's supposed to be faster, and we know as this race goes, it gets nasty. It only plays in his factor, so I think he's doing a great job, and again, the two-time champ is executing.
Well, I'm looking at these whoops, James, and you know how slippery they get. I personally feel that inside line and jumping through the whoops could possibly be the safest. JT?
So I have a question for both of you. You have Cooper Webb, who's never won this race. You have Eli Tomac, who's won 6 times behind him. What's the urgency level for Tomac here? Do you guys feel he's content to sit here this early and kind of wait Webb out, or do you think he needs to push the pace and get up to the rear wheel?
Well, this is where these guys, they know their limits. Neither one of these guys, Cooper Webb or Eli Tomac, are going to push it too hard to where they're going to risk crashing. They don't want to lose too many points. They know how valuable that is. So I think they're going to go as hard as they can, and if as hard as he can is only second, that's what he's going to get.
Guys, I posed a question to Roger DaCosta, he heads up racing over at Red Bull KTM, and Ian Harrison, their team manager, and I said to both of them individually, out of earshot of each other, is Cooper Webb back to his championship winning ways? Is he in that place? Well, Roger DaCosta gave me a straight answer, yes, I believe he is. Ian Harrison said to me, ask me after tonight. He said, because if he can break Eli tonight, if he can get this win, he said, I believe that's the final piece. So, Ricky, to your point that you were saying, that this is massive for him and perhaps a turning point in this championship if he can get this win.
Yeah, to echo that, I do feel like this is a turning point, but I also feel like, you know, with Cooper in the years past, to JT's point, is Eli kind of waiting? I feel like it just depends on how comfortable he is with his motorcycle. Like we talked about, his off races has been more off this year on the Yamaha than in years past, so Daytona might be a little bit different, but I do believe one thing. I think as this track slows down, and what I've seen from Eli today, I think it's actually going to help him more on bike setup, because he won't be going in as so fast in those jumps, and maybe that's not the strongest part. So, of course, Daytona winning that many times is going to help him, but Cooper's a different animal.
We're watching Cooper Webb lead right now like Chase Sexton typically does. We see Chase Sexton back in third, kind of lurking. RC, this is a complete role reversal. Is this a Daytona thing, or is this part of this mental shift you're talking about that happens right about now?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Number one, Daytona. I like this inside line right here, by the way, that Eli Tomac is taking. You watch, he's going to make that work. And it would have surprised me if we see Cooper Webb make the adjustment and go to the inside.
Yeah, what you saw with Eli, he knew he wasn't going to make that pass on Cooper right there. But what he wanted to do was run on the inside and startle Cooper, because Cooper's been making a lot of time up when blitzing those whoops. So Eli wasn't going for the pass. He was going to see if he can mess Cooper's rhythm up in that whoop section. And Cooper said he just pinned it anyway, but it's good. It looks like Eli's starting to find the flow.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Cooper Webb is blitzing the whoops, and Tomac and Sexton are jumping.
I noticed that. It. Yeah, I noticed that a couple laps earlier. I'm like, that's funny, but you see the two team managers, Roger DaCosta on your left, Jeremy Coker on your right.
Oh, Tomac up the inside and got him, maybe not. Webb back by.
Almost.
Oh, together.
Oh!
Tomac goes way wide. Uh-oh, now Chase Sexton says, you know what? Maybe it's my turn to get in this conversation. He's right there, but that's the first time we've seen those two come together.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chase makes a mistake in the background, but this is a different animal with Cooper Webb. You ain't doing that. No. There, this guy's fighting for it. Look at that.
Told you.
He picked up that line. That's a smart racer right there. You saw Eli coming in, and I think even when you get back to that sand section, I guarantee if he feels like Eli's there, he won't go outside again.
Well, and this is where a guy like Cooper Webb, he'll play mind games with you. I almost feel like he slowed down and wanted this situation to happen.
Well, if he wanted it, he got it. Look at this.
Oh, great camera work. But
the champs.
It's just almost like he's laying up. Maybe he's wanting to learn from Eli and wants Eli to get in front of you. Because myself personally, like James, I hated when you were behind me. I would rather have you been in front of me. I just didn't like you just putting all that pressure on you. I'm like, man, I wanted to be behind you. I just feel like it's an easier position to be in.
Yeah, it's definitely easier. And Cooper just went on the inside in that sand section, so there you go. But when he went in there, he jumped that double. Cooper had no intention to go to that inside, so he was waiting for Tomac to come and try to do what he just did. And again, Cooper is in a perfect position, because I do feel like with Eli, if he plays that game with him, like, it's only going to upset Cooper and make him ride better.
Now, James, Eli made the inside move here. Webb saw it, adjusted. Happened in the sand, too. Was it a little early for Tomac to maybe show him things? Because Webb has responded and now has taken his two passing lines.
Yeah, I think Eli kind of blew those chances. And with Cooper, maybe unlike some other riders, he's showing his cards of where he's going to play. And you get one shot with Cooper on that. Like, he ain't going to pass him in the stand like that. But again, Eli...
He messed up. Did he tap his rear brake on accident?
I mean, he just locked it up right before the 3-in.
Oh, this is going to be interesting now. Eli looks like he's starting to catch fire.
Yeah, that was weird with Cooper right there. Like he just kind of stopped. So, again, I do feel like if Cooper can hang with him and see what he can do and not let Eli go.
Let's see if he accidentally taps his rear brake to slow down for this rhythm section to get the proper sequence. Ooh,
that was weird.
Yeah, it's like really the bike just nosedived.
Yeah, and you can look at the way Cooper's riding right there. Something happened on that motorcycle where I think it locked up on him, because when a rider gets nervous, when they're going in there, they start jumping front end high. So I don't think that was a rear brake. I think something happened on that bike, and it startled him. So
yeah, it definitely wasn't the rear brake. You see the front end dive down.
Monster Energy available now at Amazon, and we are halfway through the 450 main event. Tomac now leads. Cooper Webb is in second after the mistake on this lap, and Chase Sexton starting to sneak up into this battle.
They're all hanging in tough right now. I mean, this race, this is where it really comes to the strong survive. The track is getting brutal. They're going to have to be creative with their line choice. They're going to have to be efficient.
I agree. And as I said in the beginning, I feel like with Chase, it's a different position that he's been in all year. Now he's the one that gets to put the pressure. So even with him, it seems like every time he gets close, he makes a mistake. But maybe this is the race where he can get those guys to end up making a mistake. But again, Eli's not getting away too much, so we'll see what happens.
Webb to the inside. Sexton's going to swing wide.
Watch these different lines. Barsha's back in there, too.
Sitting there.
Watch the difference here. Chase electing to go inside to stay out of the ruts.
9 minutes and a lap to go. And the moving obstacles are coming up next, guys. The lap traffic, they're about to be in it. And they'll be in that all the way to the finish line. And as we saw a year ago, Cooper Webb had this race won, and a lapper caused him to tighten up on the inside right in that section, and he lost Eli Tomac. So the lapper is going to play a role again.
Guys, I just want to give you a bit of an update of where Honda HRC are with Chase Sexton's bike, because, you know, it's been a big topic about, you know, front end traction and the fact that he's looking for more. Is that on him? Is that on the team? Well, they did a lot of testing this week. They actually put some new parts on it. That was all chassis changes, and they said that helped a lot, I was told by the team. They also made some suspension changes. They were giving props to their suspension team show there and said they worked extremely hard. So those two things together apparently is some fairly substantial changes this week for Chase. I don't know what you guys are seeing. Obviously, we're not seeing him out in front like we have done. Comfort-wise, can you see those changes and those strides that he's made?
I mean, he looks comfortable here. For sure he does. He's made a couple bobbles here and there, but all these guys have.
And Chase Sexton yesterday, makes a big mistake right there. Loses a bunch of time. Can he defend Barsha? They come together. Sexton in the middle, a second line is developed. Barsha on him now, and James, like you said, he just keeps making the little mistakes. Every time he makes traction or gains on the leaders, he loses it.
Yeah, and to Will's point, like, maybe he does look more comfortable, but I think it's more on the position he's in. He's been the guy that's leading, so all the pressure's been on him. So, but every time he gets cross-threaded right here, and he didn't want Barsha going, and he goes up. That was close. Wow.
Yeah, well, Barsha saw an opportunity to make the move, which he needed to do that, so he's going for it. Sexton didn't want to get him to get by, so he closed the door on him.
Yeah, that was a big move. And again, I think with Chase, every time he gets close, he makes that mistake. And back to the point I was making, I think it's just a position, so it might end up being good for him. If he can stay back here and close back up and maybe make that pass on those guys, it might be a good. But again, Cooper's keeping Eli super close right there.
What was that? Chase Sexton's mistakes are causing Justin Barsha all kinds of trouble as he runs into the back of him and is down. Jason.
Well, Barsha was very angry right there, guys. I don't know if you caught that look up he gave to Sexton earlier, but that was his opportunity to make contact and try to get a move back. He is fuming inside that helmet right now. I think that was pure emotion in that move.
I think he was absolutely going for it, James. You knew that something was going to go down, and he is riding exceptionally well. Here's a first look. This is what happened earlier, okay? Marshall's going to go for the pass.
Yeah.
He had that opportunity. You've got to take those. He did the right thing. Sexton closed the door on him. Sexton didn't want to get past, so racing incident.
And watch Barsha like rev his bike. So for him, he gets the opportunity. And I know Barsha, I know what he was upset. He probably thinks Chase cut him off on there. He cross-jumped him over that, so he upset him. But look, another mistake by Chase causes these two guys up front, and it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, and it's about to go. Cooper makes a mistake in the sand.
And what was a potential three-way battle looks like it's down to 2. Sexton now 8 seconds off the lead. 1.5, maybe a little more. I think Tomac's had a good couple of sections. Yeah, 2.8 there, but it looks like the battle's down to the two-time champs.
Yeah, I mean, it's so close right here. Anything can happen. Looks like the rain has stopped, so track will be a little more consistent. But lines are getting deep, ruts are getting deep, and you're just kind of waiting. Does Cooper have enough to make one final push? I do know this much: you can't let Eli get too much further away if he wants a crack at the win.
And James, we have seen Cooper Webb do some Cooper Webb things late in the race with Ken Roxon and with Chase Sexton. Eli Tomac, though, is a different animal. With 5 to go, what's he going to do with the defending champ and the points leader?
Yeah, I do believe Eli knows what Cooper does as well. And even though last year Eli was able to close in and make that pass on Cooper, I think out of all people, Cooper's pretty comfortable in this spot to feel like, okay, I'm close. It's the next 2 laps that are going to make or break his race. And with Daytona, you can gain and lose a lot of time pretty quick. So even though this gap's 2.5 seconds, it can be closed up in like a section. It can be right back up on him.
See how tough the track's getting. The ruts are getting deeper. The sand is getting deeper. And RC for Eli Tomac, again in Arlington, had a weird race. 3, goes down, kind of gets up slowly, does an old type of Eli type thing. And we questioned, can he bounce back? He was off in qualifying, made some bike changes, but RC now in the lead with 2.5. Is Tomac in the position to strangle these guys and get another one in Daytona?
I think he is. I'm watching close to Cooper, and he just can't get there. He just can't get close enough. And that's just a testament to how strong Eli is. Listen, Eli didn't look good in practice earlier today. Didn't look comfortable, but he's showing up when it really matters the most.
Absolutely. And I think this is the part where Eli and his experience have, maybe the bike's not working as well, but when it comes, everybody knows he'll show up. It's Daytona. But like I said before, I think the track's slowing down on there, and even maybe not like necessarily lap times, but them slowing down and not blitzing through the whoops and having to make sure they get in his rhythm section is helping Eli. Because when he's over jumping stuff, it kind of looks like he does all day, but Cooper still right there.
3 minutes and a lap to go. Christian Craig running in 10th. The final stages of this 450 main event. I keep watching the timing. Webb was over 2, then back to 2.0, now to 2.1. I mean, RC, how close does he need to get for Eli Tomac to recognize that he's there and start making some changes? Oh, RJ's down. I'm sorry, not down. Running 8th in his first 450 main event.
Eli knows he's there. Eli's trying to manage the gap, while the 2 is trying to close up the gap.
Now at 2.4.
He just, I mean, obviously he's got to be closer, James, right, to make the move. When you know he's trying everything possible, he's running out of time.
Yeah, it's weird to watch this, and as I said, Daytona, you're losing and gaining time depending on how clean. Cooper actually made a big mistake in that triple, right before that triple section, but it's weird, like, how much... That was a little wild over there. And again, this is Daytona, so it's never over, but Cooper is actually the faster of the 2, even though he's, like, losing time. He's making mistakes and losing time, but I don't think it's because he's not faster than Eli, and I think that's giving Cooper some confidence. So he gets it within a second, race on.
Minute 45 and a lap.
Both taking some different lines. I do like this, you know, so, and it's like kind of give and take.
Yeah, Eli's a little bit better in his tighter section. Seems like he's just taking his time a little bit more. And sometimes when you're in second, you see that guy, you kind of rush it and you blow it. But Eli's doing just enough to keep Cooper like there, but all just enough to break his spirit. So I think it'd be important for this next lap, whether Cooper can win this race, it'd be dictated on this next lap.
They are running 1:14s and 1:15s as far as lap times go. Whoa, Tomac with a mistake. But as they cross the finish line, there's 1:09 left. So they will do this lap and one more. 2 to go. Justin Cooper running in 6th. In what might be his final 450 race of the season. He's doing a limited schedule before he preps for Paula, the first round of the Pro Motocross Championship. And man, what a ride. I mean, what a season he's had in the limited races he's had, RC, but a 6th to end it?
Yeah, incredible, especially at the toughest Supercross track on the circuit. Doing a great job on that Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing machine. Oh, man.
Oh, this
1.7
now.
Man.
This is so great to see.
Yeah, I mean, you just... it's so close. Just like one little slip up from Eli, boom, Cooper is there.
Yeah, I think Cooper's been struggling like through this section. It looks like he gets it pretty clean. And I believe it's only going to be one lap after this. They're not going to make it before the white flag comes out. So...
James, you said one little slip up from Eli there, and I was talking to the team earlier on today, asking them about those mistakes that we have seen out of Eli so far this season. 3 times we've seen him on the ground. Daniel, you talked about Arlington last weekend. They were comparing that. They're very aware of it to the 2 times throughout the Supercross and motocross season all of last year. Apparently they've analyzed the film. They've looked at it. As far as they're concerned, they're just looking at those incidences in a vacuum, each one individually. But I am curious right now if any of that is flashing through Eli's head here as he has to hang on with Cooper Webb on his tail.
I mean, I think at this point he knows he's got it. He can play defense. Cooper isn't close enough. And we only have a half a lap left. A few more sections and it's over.
Yeah, and you know, RC, when you're in this position, you're like, okay, let me make sure I get through the sand. Okay, let me make sure I get through this section, and I have it. So Eli's next big section is this 2-3, and then to get him to whoops. But yeah, Cooper's definitely not close enough, but you got to look at Eli. He stepped up, and it's probably his best lap he's ridden all night, this last one.
Bringing the heat on the final lap. If he wins this race with a couple corners to go, RC, he'll stand 3rd in all-time wins. He'll pass you. You're tied right now. James, you're next. He'll also win his 7th Daytona Supercross, tying Richard Petty as the winningest rider in Daytona history, not just Daytona Supercross. And Eli Tomac does it! Wins the Daytona Supercross for the 7th time!
Great ride, great race. What a great race.
That was incredible. Incredible job. Look at the sportsmanship right there.
2 champs, a lot of respect for each other.
These guys, what they're able to do, just incredible racers, incredible athletes. The amount of strength, cardiovascular-wise as well. I mean, heart rates absolutely through the roof. You're looking at one of the best athletes some of the best athletes in the world.
That was a tough race mentally for these guys. I know that for sure. Look at this. History, watching history.
Man.
3rd all-time winner, AMA Monster Energy Supercross. Witnessing history. I love it.
Here we go.
I'm next.
Right in between you two.
Hey, let's go.
Siamo arrivati a fine puntata, gare magnifiche, un Eli Tomac superlativo, un Hunter Lawrence magnifico, tantissimo pubblico a Daytona. Spero che le immagini vi abbiano emozionato. Noi di MotocrossMyPassion ce la mettiamo tutta. Un ringraziamento particolare va a Michele Fanton, sempre disponibilissimo e grande preparazione da parte sua prima della puntata. Per cui vi suggerisco di condividere il più possibile perché io possa portare sempre più motocross in televisione. Vi ricordo il nostro canale YouTube MotocrossMyPassion TV, la nostra pagina web www.motocrossmypassion.it e seguiteci su tutte le emittenti televisive dove andiamo in onda. Per cui caramente vi saluto, vi do appuntamento la settimana prossima per commentare il 9° round delle Main Monster Energy Supercross 2023, gara che si svolgerà a Indianapolis in Indiana. Aspettiamo con ansia questo giro di boa del campionato con poi la partenza della MXGP e della MX2 e del mondiale femminile motocross. Per cui un caro saluto e buona continuazione.